Assalamu alaikum. I am Muhammad Sadiq Nurani. Today I am going to represent my research paper. The name of the research paper was Distributed File Systems. I want to introduce this paper. The aim of the distributed file systems in computing environment is to share resources and long-term data storage. Distributed file system means to share storage space and data to the users at every time. Distributed file systems are growing and getting popularity nowadays. It has a great advantage over centralized file system. This is because internet is growing throughout the world. Due to internet, many hosts stores a lot of data. These shared hosts provide many services to their clients. Every user in distributed system acts as a creator and consumer of the data. I want to introduce its background. Permanent storage was the basic idea in computing. This abstraction consists of such objects that show resistance on the temporary failure of the system. These objects remain alive for a specific time period. Next, I want to introduce characteristics. All the distributed file system must have the following characteristics. All the users should have same view of all the files present in the distributed systems. New servers should be easily added in the existing distributed file systems without operation interruption and configuration changing. New server must be installed with good allocating memory and other services. A system administrator should easily remove or add any user without any extra hardware. A system administrator should easily back up of entire partial file systems, and he must be able to keep it online so that any user may access to get any file if he had deleted it before. The system must be tolerated, reliable, and restore itself from failure. It must be available, secure, and reliable. Now I am going to introduce some distributed file systems. Here are some file systems are discussed and compared. The first one, distributed file system, is a lesser. It is a shared disk file system. It is used for large scale computing cluster. Lesser file system is an open standard based system. It has great modularity and compatibility with networking components, interconnections, and with storage hardware. It is the best for general purpose file system. Now it is available only for Linux operating systems. Next distributed file system is Hadoop. It is distributed fault tolerant parallel file system. It is used to store large files in a large cluster. It is initiated by Google file systems. It stores each file in a sequence of blocks. Blocks are replicated for fault tolerance. The size of the block and replication can reconfigure. Other one is Cosmos file system. It is a distributed file system that has a good performance. It is used to support large files that may have size in GBs. It is the most reliable and available. Mostly it is used at the backend for data storage, for search engines, grid computing, data mining, etc. The most important file system is Google file systems. This file system was developed by the Google for its own. It is developed in such a way to provide reliable and efficient access to data. Large cluster of hardware is used for its design. In this system, files have large size by traditional standards. These files are divided into 64 MBs of chunks. New files are mutated, not overwritten. This system is able to give high performance in any situation. Next one is RGFS. It is an open standard system. It is capable to synchronize with network components, storage hardware components, and compatible with interconnections. It is a SAN-based technology system. It is more reliable with low cost. It is best for general purpose file system. Furthermore, it is only compatible with Red Hat Enterprise Linux operating system. The next one, distributed file system, is a Panasas. It entirely depends on the hardware. It is also compatible with journal file systems. Panasas has designed active scale storage cluster to improve the storage system utilization. Other one is PVFS2. It is the best file system for IO intensive applications. It is used in that environment where data is copied and its results are written several times. Now I am going to represent issues related to distributed file systems. Distributed file system is a good activity that spans over the academic and industrial level. This system is facing several issues and work is being done against the issues. First issue is that availability. Trust on the distributed file system is increasing day by day. The availability of the system is being acute. If a single server or network crash, many users feel seriously inconvenienced in large distributed systems. There is a big need to make the distributed file systems resistant against failure. Other issue related to this file system is scalability. Some problems proposed by the scale are highlighted by the maximum use of the large distributed file systems. The major problem is decentralization. Large networks are decomposed into segments and routers are introduced to increase the performance of the system. The next issue is heterogeneity. Distributed file systems are able to grow more diverse. There are different factors that incorporate to increase the heterogeneity. First one is that distributed file systems are very important source that can grow in size and able to store large amount of shared data. It also allows user to use its resources as well. Second factor is that heterogeneity increase the system performance and decrease the cost of hardware with the passage of time. Next issue is that database access. Data elements in database are accessed and updated based on specific user privileges. Database is more common in those areas where data transactions are very high and it also has a large amount of data. That is why the database implementations are difficult as compared to database distributed file systems. Now I am going to conclude my presentations. In computing environment, variety of services has been introduced for the internet users. In the early days of computing, a man was unable to share data and to get the resources of the systems. Two techniques were introduced to facilitate the internet users. First one is user initiated file transfer model and other is network transparency techniques were introduced to share data and resources. Distributed file systems are the best systems that provide many opportunities to the client to share data through online. These systems in an ideal environment are reliable, secure, have large storage capacities, able to be accessed and updated at any time, anywhere, and available every time. Some problems may arise in these systems like connection loss, network security, etc. These are the conclusion of my research paper. Allah Hafiz.